Is this working?
Duh.
Is this working? Salt Lake City, I love you so much, I can't even take it. It's honestly, I swear to you. By the way, was anybody at my concert last night? You make me want to cry. I'm not going to cry this early, I promise. But Jack, I got to tell you something.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I say?
I was going to preface this whole thing by bringing up your concert last night and how moved I was.
Oh, thank you, man.
I was floored to tears, and I really wanted to go, and I wanted to hate it because you're like the big brother, and I'm supposed to be annoyed by things. But I was stunned, and I was so moved, and this is the king of conventions, the prince of joy, the queen of resilience. And despite losing a skirmish to his fellow co-star and receiving a blow to the eye, he still remained a triumph. He's always going to be a triumph. And the co-star was me, by the way. I punched him in the eye. But I'm just so proud of him. And there's nobody. I mean, you're like.
Stop it.
Okay,
You're literally one of the coolest, most talented actors I've ever met in my entire life. Jack Dylan Grazer, everybody, is legitimately so talented.
This guy's more like a father figure
Got a heart of gold.
Anybody.
I mean, he was really me 20 years ago. This is what's happening. But
I'm gonna be a mess.
But by the way, I didn't know you were gonna make the show last night. I looked down into the audience, and guys, I swear, there was multiple times I almost cried, and one of them was when I looked down and I saw you, and I was like, oh, he's there, little Freddie came to the show.
Oh, I love you. I love you.
And it meant the world to me. It meant the world to me. But Salt Lake, you're literally this room. I've said this many times, I swear to you, and this is what I was going to tell you. This is the best panel room I've ever been in any convention I've ever been in. Ever, Mike. Which is not to besmirch all the other incredible cities and panels and all the things that I've done out there. So please, anyone watching this, don't try to cut this together and make it sound like I'm being toxic, okay? The point is, you guys are so dope. You're so dope. And there's so much love in this place. There's so much love in you. And it's palpable. There's 5,000 people in this room right now for us. I mean, come on. You're the best. All the way to the back. You're the best. All right. So listen, if you've ever been to one of my panels, I don't know how many you do moderated or not, but I just want to have a fan question. So if anybody has questions, we have a mic that's right here in the front. And there's already a line. Oh, wait, is this the line?
There they are.
Huh? You can move them over there.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, you will? Well, we're going right now.
There's one right there.
I see. One at a time. Yeah, we got it. I saw. Okay, fantastic. We figured it out.
There's a very special one right there.
Hi, what's your name?
Lucy, this question's for both of you. What was your favorite superhero as a child?
Zachary.
I know yours. Should we answer for each other?
Sure.
Okay, I think yours is like the X-Men and the Wolverine and the Dr. Gronk.
Dr. Gronk?
Yeah, right?
He was great. Yeah, he was a New Mutants.
Timeless.
No. Well, listen, I just like all the mutants. I was a massive, anything X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor, all that stuff. I was huge into that. Which, by the way, did not mean I did not discriminate. I loved everything. I loved Captain America and Hulk, and I mean even like little random side things like Silver Sable. I don't know if anybody ever read Silver Sable. Like really cool, all that stuff. But the mutants to me were always like I think it would be the most probable way of actually having superpowers. Like you get like some weird gene mutation. And so like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I pray that I wake up and all of a sudden something's happened and I'm like, I can shoot fire. Like, I think that would be fun. I don't know how many gamma rays I'm gonna find myself around, so I need a gene mutation, okay? And I felt like, and I like the team aspect of all those guys too, right? You had all these individual powers all working together. I mean, I think that's why Avengers was such a powerful like part of that Marvel, franchise and everything, because you finally got to see those teams come together and kick ass together. And that's fun. It's like Voltron.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
I like Batman. Thank you. Yeah, Batman is very good because he's very good, right? And I always found that he was the most good for me. Thank you.
Man of many words, Jack Dylan Grazer. Next question.
If you had one wish, what would it be, and what would be the catch?
Ooh, that's a good one. What would your one wish be?
Hold on. It was such a good question. I really want to give you a good answer.
What would be your wish?
Okay.
And what would be the catch?
But I don't want that.
wish?
But how do I pick? Okay, so I can pick a catch that's like I'm kind of sabotaging the catch of the definition of what the catch itself. I have an idea. I think. Zach, actually, you want to take this one away, and then I'll
take it. Let me take this. I think honestly, it's a great question. I haven't really thought about that. But
I know.
Go for it.
Okay, to work. I don't know if I can say this, but if I can work with all the directors that I love and actors too, but like the catch is I don't have to get paid. Like I'm not getting paid. Like
That's
I don't.
pretty good. So you just do all that work for free?
If I do, I could work for Martin Scorsese
There are
for
so
free.
many producers like, I can't wait to get this kid in.
Okay, yeah, good. Would you work for?
I'll
Scorsese?
get the right director if this kid's free.
Would you work with Scorsese for free though? No, really.
I mean, if we were doing like something for charity, absolutely, I'd do it for free.
Yeah, charity's cool. But Scorsese's also cool. Anyway.
My wish would be that everyone could just figure out how to love each other.
But the catch.
But the catch is, it also erases all the cancer in the world.
You're such a puppy dog,
That's the
baby.
Sorry, cancer.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you. Next question.
That's great.
So what is your go-to guilty pleasure song?
I have so many, and I'm exposing myself and very vulnerable in a way.
Let's not get too vulnerable, Jack. Eh.
Number 1 is LaGrange by ZZ Top. Number 2 is probably Axel F by Harold Faltermeyer. Number 3 is probably
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Oh, probably that song that's like probably dueling banjos from Deliverance.
You're such a nut.
I do. I listen to
Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
Sure.
I'm just joking.
I have a hard time answering that question because I don't feel guilty about any of my music choices. Did I get an amen?
Hallelujah.
But I don't know. I mean, things that other people find to be cheesy or whatever.
Yeah.
They're all bangers. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, I like dance pop music. I like upbeat stuff that just makes me want to move during the day. You know what I mean? I think that music is life. Music is essential for life. Music makes all life better.
Yep.
And you know, different people have different energies and moods and you know all that stuff. And you know, to each their own. I'm not going to yuck somebody else's yum. But upbeat dance pop music to me is the best. So like, I want anything from Stevie Wonder, everything Stevie Wonder. But like Dua Lipa, like, you know what I mean? Like, I got some Bieber on my track. I got some Taylor Swift. Listen, guys. 1989 is a fantastic album. It is fantastic.
I love Tay Tay.
Anyway, so I don't know. But see, that's what it's like. Like, if I was talking to some people, they're like, you listen to Taylor Swift? And I talk to other people, they're like, heck yeah, I listen to Taylor Swift. So guilty to who? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Preach.
Anyway, great question. Thank you. Next question.
Okay, my question is, what is your most embarrassing moment in public?
Does now count?
That's your answer.
No, it's a joke.
Hilarious. You're my number 1 inspiration. That wasn't a joke. I know I framed it as if it was going to be, but it wasn't. Hey guys,
Do you see what I have to deal with on a daily basis?
I have a question really quick. I'm going to get back to your question. It's a great question. But I have a question. Was that somersault they did, was that funny? Did anybody find that funny? Because I hurt my elbow. I don't know if it's worth it. I live for that. Okay, most embarrassing thing. One time I got detained when I was on my 15th birthday because I was running around in the street and I pulled my pants down, showed my butt to a police officer.
Oh my
Which is
Lord.
a very bad thing to do, right? But I was 15 and I made a lot of mistakes. And you know, even in my darkest hours, to circle it back to how Zach is my inspiration, Zach has come and he's guided me. He's like my shaman in a lot of ways, with his subtle wisdom and beautiful words and great scent.
He's not wrong.
I'm not.
So now does count, right? This is okay, great. No, man, I don't know. Too many to count. That's unfortunate. I had, here's a story. I used to smoke cigarettes back in the day. I do not anymore. I don't anymore. 6 years I've been sober of cigarettes. Thank you very much. And by the way, not shaming anybody who does smoke cigarettes, but they're a lie and they are slowly deceiving you with every puff you take. I highly recommend you get that monkey off your back, but love yourself all the way through that process. That's the only way you're gonna do it. Yeah. But I used to smoke in high school, and when I was 17 in California, you are not allowed to smoke cigarettes at 17. You have to be 18 to smoke cigarettes. And I was on the volleyball team, and we were at some tournament up in Santa Barbara. I grew up in Ventura, and we were in Santa Barbara, and me and some of the other guys on the volleyball team were out, at some place, like some gas station, and we were smoking cigarettes. And some cops came over, and they're like, "Hey, we see you guys are all smoking these cigarettes, and we need to see your IDs." Now, I didn't have an ID that said I was 18, and so I hid my wallet in the truck, and when the cops came around to me, I said, "Hey, I'm 18, they're, "Oh, okay, well, where's your ID?" I don't have it on me. They go, "Well, what's your mom's phone number?"
Damn.
And I said, sorry. First they asked me, "What's your name?" Total fake name. "What's your, address?" Fake. By the way, it was incredible. I was proud of myself how well I was being able to do these things on the fly. Yeah. However, they say, "What's your mom's phone number?" I go, "You know what? She's out. She's shopping. She's somewhere else. You're not going to be able to get a hold of her." She says, "What's your grandma's phone number?" I'm like, that's even worse. And so I'm like, "Yeah, she's gone too." And they go, "Well, we're going to have to detain you until we can prove who you are." I'm like,
that's
what?
Ridiculous.
And it turned out that the cop station was right across the street from where we were smoking. And these guys walked me into the police station, cuffed me.
What?
Put me in a little room, and they called my mom. And let me tell you something. I would rather be arrested than suffer the wrath of what was about to happen to me, which is why I lied to the cops in the first place. And I hear... I'm cuffed in a little room, and the cops are down the hallway, and they're on the phone with my mom, and I don't hear what she's saying. All I hear is what the cops are saying, and the cops are saying, "Yes, hello, Mrs. Pugh. This is Officer Jenkins, that here, the Santa Barbara. Well, we have your son here, and ma'am, I'm sorry, you're going to have to just calm down. There's not really, ma'am, if you're cursing at us, we're going to do something with your son right now. Do you realize we can put him in juvenile detention right now?" And I am screaming from the room, "Mom, just tell them what they need to know!" Mom, crying. And that was less embarrassing than what just happened right now.
Yeah.
Great question.
That was excellent.
Hi, what's your question?
Hi.
Also, don't smoke and don't lie to the cops. Unless they're bad cops.
My name is Brooke, and my question for both of you is, if you were being hunted by an assassin, how would you like to be killed, and why?
Okay, wait. Are we thinking about painless or coolest?
What's that?
The most painless or the coolest?
No.
How would
which
I
way?
want?
You could choose painless if you want to.
That's boring. Oh my God! Have you seen the movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy?
Yeah.
What a cool freaking movie about assassins.
Yeah.
That movie is like dopamine sandwich. So good, that movie. And I would love to die from when James McAvoy, when he bends the bullet and he's like, yeah. That would be kind of cool. Or that bit when the train, whatever. Yeah, I want James McAvoy to kill me. Bucket list.
I mean, honestly, I was gonna say I want James McAvoy to kill me. So I think we're.
It's not a
I don't know. Painlessly in my sleep.
Lame.
When I'm dreaming about better days. Thank you.
Butter days.
Young Spider-Man, what is your question?
My name's Odin K. And,
Hi, Odin.
My question is, what's your favorite Christmas movie to watch?
Fantastic question. It's a Wonderful Life.
I was about to say It's a Wonderful Life. That's perfect movie. Perfect movie.
Too bad I got there first.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a Wonderful Life is. I'm assuming almost everybody in this room has seen It's a Wonderful Life at least once before. I think It's a Wonderful Life is not just one of the best Christmas movies ever made, but it's one of the best movies ever made.
Yes.
And I think one of the reasons why is because it's one of the first movies that actually dealt with mental health on a real level, which is basically a guy who thinks his life is completely worthless because of everything that's gone down, and he wants to die. And then he gets visited by this angel. Oh, I'm going to start crying.
Zachary.
And he gets visited by some angel. And then he's shown what his life would be, what life would be like if he wasn't there. And that, guys, every time, sorry, I just got to take a moment real quick. I got to do this. Show of hands. Show of hands. And by the way, try and look around the room when this happens. Raise your hand if you deal with stress on any level in your life. Hands down. Raise your hand if you deal with some kind of anxiety in your life. Hands down. And show your hand if you deal with or have dealt with any kind of depression in your life. We're all going through the same stuff, guys. And George Bailey was going through that. And that movie is supposed to remind us that the world is better with us in it. Amen? Oh! Amen.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm gonna start crying. But anyway, so yeah, it's a fantastic movie. And by the way, just a little tidbit. So, when they were making that movie, why am I blanking on Jimmy Stewart? Jimmy Stewart came back from World War II. I'm just going to do a little tangent real quick. Jimmy Stewart came back from World War II. He had massive PTSD. He ended up being like a captain in the Air Force. He flew bombing missions over Europe, watching so many of his fellow soldiers die. Then he became like looking over the missions and sending planes out and not seeing a lot of them come back from these missions. He was messed up. And he came back to Hollywood. He had just won an Academy Award for the Philadelphia Story, right before he went to war. And nobody would hire him. Nobody would hire any of those guys. And he was going through all his PTSD. And Frank Capra also came back from World War II, also going through some PTSD. And he couldn't get hired. And he started Liberty, I think it was called Liberty Films. And their first movie was It's a Wonderful Life. And he barely convinced Jimmy to do it because Jimmy was so messed up. And everything you see in that movie is him working through his PTSD. The scene in the bar where he's crying, it was one take and it was like ad-libbed and it was his real emotions that were going on. And he learned how to heal himself through doing that movie. So when you watch it again, keep that in mind. It's real powerful. But then one last more tidbit. I swear to God. The movie, though critically in some respects had some acclaim, it bombed at the box office. It did not do well. So the secretary at Liberty Films thought that there was really no worth in filing the trademark or the patent or copyright for the movie. So then it became public domain immediately, which is why it's been on all of our television stations every year since it came out. And if it had done good in the box office, we wouldn't have been getting this story all of these years about how to love ourselves. Isn't that incredible?
Fate.
Anyway, that's all in that. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Well, yeah, it's a wonderful. That's why I screamed a little bit. But God, you're full of your wisdom and your quick wit goes unmatched against any of my other clients. I meant to say friends, but he's also a client of mine. He does very well for his age and bracket. Yeah. I honestly love. Oh, you know what's an underrated one? I love Mickey's Christmas Carol. I love when Mickey goes and
Scrooge McDuck is
yes, and then they go to the big guy's house. The Ghost of Christmas present and
Christmas middle.
It's been a very long time, but I remember when he picks up a turkey leg and he takes a bite out of a turkey leg, and then eats a grape, and I was like, oh my God, I want grapes and turkeys, and that's one that I like. But It's a Wonderful Life I watch every Christmas. If I'm not, busy being a baller, then I'll watch that.
Next question.
What's yours?
Just gonna keep going back and forth. The Santa Claus. Yes. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Jaden, and my question is, what's your favorite Halloween movie?
Halloween 2.
We're just going by the holidays now. I like it.
Halloween.
What is my favorite Halloween?
Oh, you know what I watch on Halloween, which I guess is wrong because it's a Christmas movie, is Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, but I actually think that's a both movie.
It's a both.
It's a both, and I'll agree with him. I'm gonna go. We both went It's a Wonderful Life, both Nightmare Before Christmas. Same. I told you 20 years ago. This guy.
I love this guy.
What's your question?
Hi, my name's Reagan, and what is the top item on your bucket list?
The world's biggest lava lamp.
No way.
Or a bunch of bird collars. Like one of those things those bird collars you...
The world's biggest bird collar?
No, a bunch of them.
How large a bird are you trying to call?
I have a bunch of them in my pocket. Whatever, I got a pocket full of stuff.
Yeah, you got a pocket. Okay, great.
It's like bag of tricks.
Wait, what was the question? Oh, bucket list.
Number one thing on your... Oh, on wish list. We say bucket list?
Bucket list.
Oh!
Yeah, bucket list.
I read it as like wish list. Bucket list?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
No, it's not.
One of them just kind of indicates that you're going to die at the end of it. I mean, just being honest, that's what the bucket's there for, guys.
Oh, I
You're
just
kicking
realized
it.
that.
That's the bucket list.
That's what that means.
I don't know what.
I want to go to space too. I want to go to space.
You know what? I honestly, what on my bucket list, I really want to build a movie studio that a bunch of like actors and everybody in the crew and everybody can also live at and work at, and that makes a better life for everybody
So
there,
cool.
and we can like do our own stuff and not have to depend on a broken system in Hollywood.
That's a secret.
That's my bucket list.
Isn't that awesome? I love that. I thought that was a secret, and I want to do the same
Which
thing
is basically
too.
just a giant lava lamp. You see? It just keeps coming around. Thank you so much for your question.
Let's keep up this momentum. It's good. It's good. It's
What's
good.
your name and what's your question?
My name is Daniel, and my question is, you guys have to fight 10,000 dogs with soggy fish, or
Wait, what?
or 10,000 koalas with chairs as weapons.
Well, I mean, the
wait,
chairs,
wait. I'm
obviously.
fighting the dogs
I
with
don't know
fish?
how many dogs I can defeat with a soggy fish.
Oh, no.
Unless we have so many fish that we could like throw them and then the dogs are running after. Oh, is this what you're saying? Distract the dog. I see.
The dogs.
No, I'm going to be swinging chairs at koalas, bruh.
The, do-
First of all,
I know.
dogs fast, koalas not so fast.
The dogs.
They're drunk on eucalyptus like all day long, guys.
That's not
they
true.
sleep most of the day.
They're super vicious.
You,
and they're drop bears. You know what a drop bear is? They fall out of the trees and they land on people's heads and they attack their scalps.
yeah, that's when they're bored for like an hour a day.
you guys have
That's how
to
you
use
and
your
McGregor
brain.
died.
Most of the time they're sleeping in trees, chair,
Look, I have a perfect idea.
whack a koala.
I have a perfect game plan, perfect strategy.
The weapons are for the animals, not you guys.
So wait. That's even better.
Clever girl.
So I'm gonna take those fish and I'm gonna be real slow and I'm gonna like access my wolf totem spirit guide and I'm gonna be like, and I'm gonna bring the fish towards the dog group, the horde of dogs, and then they're gonna eat the fish out of my hands and then they're gonna befriend me and then we're gonna fight the koalas with chairs. Perfect. Done. Okay, that was a great question, Daniel. I feel very confident in my answer too. Next.
That's a great shirt you're wearing, young man. I like. He's wearing a Shazam shirt for anybody who can't see.
I love
That's
it.
right.
Makeshift.
What's your question?
My name is Grant Salazar, and I wanted to tell you, what's your favorite thing to do
My favorite thing to do?
in the whole world?
In the whole wide world? Man, there's a lot. I like making music. I love to act. That's probably my favorite thing. Self-expression. That's probably in any vessel of it. If I'm writing, if I'm telling stories, if I'm playing a character, if I'm playing dress up, if I'm able to connect with somebody in a way that I feel very authentic and comfortable to do so. But making music is also, I feel like, a great, kind of a language as well.
Yeah.
Making music and acting.
Ding.
Solid.
Thank
This is gonna sound silly, maybe, but my favorite thing to do is love people.
I know.
I swear.
I knew
I
that.
swear it. I really mean it. I have told anybody who's come by my table, I'll say this till I die. Our job is super weird, guys. It's super weird that we get to do the cool things that we get to do as actors, but that we come to conventions and wonderful people like you wait very patiently to pay us good money to scribble on pictures of our own stupid mugs is one of the weirdest jobs ever. But at the end of the day, I really think you guys are blessing us that we get to love you. That's what the exchange is.
So
When we do
fulfilling.
theater and live performances, we get an audience in that. We get an exchange in that moment. You get to feel that energy with each other. You understand it. But when we do film and television, it's in a vacuum. We don't get to have that. And these things where we get to meet you and you get to tell us that the thing that we made wasn't just some silly superhero movie. It's something that actually brought you joy. It brought you love. It got you through a tough time. It brought your family together. It did something in your life that was positive. It redeems all the things that we get to do. And that means I get to look at you and say, oh man, I almost went to the F-bomb. I didn't. Man, I'm getting better. But it gives us the opportunity to basically say, thank you, and I love you, and I do. And I love loving people, and I love you too. And you should love yourself. Amen? Amen. Love yourself. Thank you for such a great question. From the mouths of babes.
The Book of Love by Zach.
What's your question?
My name is Kristen Salazar, and You guys are so great. I love Shazam, the big red guy movie.
Oh, yeah.
And you two are the best in the movie at all. So thank you for your entertainment.
Thank you.
Can I ask one, two?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you ad-lib all
Probably.
that stuff in the big red guy movie?
Ad-lib all the stuff?
I almost spit water all over this stage.
Why? Why?
Oh, so perfectly timed.
No,
because
so
because she said, "Did you add?" She hadn't even said it, and you were like, "Probably."
Oh, yeah.
Which is true. He's so talented. Honestly, you are so talented. He's got great ad libs. He's got great comic timing. He's got great authenticity.
I think I get it
and
from
a
you.
great heart. It's true. You do get it from me.
I know.
And the humility too. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
What was the question?
I did improvise in some
Improvise.
things. There was a lot of it. No, I mean, there's bits where I felt like something could have been maybe funnier is subjective, but I do think that I have a good radar for humor sometimes. And there was a bit that they kept in the movie in the second one where I'm in the cave with Jaimin the wizard, and then I guess I'm looking around and I picked up what I pretended to be a tooth. I said, "What is this, a tooth?" And everybody thought that was funny, so they kept it in the movie. And then what was really cool about that is that after the credits, there's that bit when I'm holding a tooth. I thought that was great. They put that in the artwork. I thought that was really neat.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then for all the young kids, because bullying starts in elementary school now, what can you say to kids in school right now? Mental health is...
I mean,
I'd love to give a piece on this too, but you go
yeah,
first.
no, absolutely. I mean, listen, bullying comes from those who have been bullied. Hurt people. And I'm not trying to like write everything and anything off, but at the end of the day, at the heart of it all, guys, this is just generational trauma that comes down and comes down and comes down. So the most important thing I think we need to recognize in ourselves and each other and teach our kids is that bully is not an evil person. That bully is being traumatized currently, which does not excuse their behavior, but we have to have empathy. Otherwise, we start calling people monsters, and they're not. They're not. By and large, they're doing their best, right? We all are in our own narrative. We don't know what somebody else has gone through or is currently going through. But also, try not to go swinging back after them. And also, as a parent, be clued into your child's life and go and talk to their parent and go and talk to the school and do what needs to happen until it stops. Because there's far too many examples where somebody talks and you're trying to get it done and it keeps happening and it keeps happening. And you don't want that happening. So that's the best advice I can think of. But also just loving oneself. The more you can love yourself, the more all that stuff slides off of you.
That's it. Yeah. Well, I would say that's really poignant, Zach. Truly. Please. Yeah, thanks. I love this question. I've dealt with a lot of bullying in my life in elementary school. Yeah, of course, elementary school and middle school and stuff like that. And I work very closely, actually, coincidentally, with a company nonprofit organization called Stomp Out Bullying, which, if you don't know about it, you should learn a little bit about it. They spread awareness about bullying and cyberbullying. It's a freaking mess, social media. And I recommend, if you're under the age of 18 or 25, even better, don't engage with people that you don't know on the internet or on social media. It's just, sometimes it's very unhealthy and...
any age. Don't engage with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I guess, when you've developed maturity and resilience and thicker skin or whatever, you go through your experiences.
Oh, sure.
And you learn about people that they can be hurtful just because they're hurt as well.
Yeah.
Maybe you're more better fit to be stronger, but I don't know. I was hurt a lot. Well, the main thing is that there's a lot of different guises in bullying. There's lots of different formats. People can pretend to be nice to you, but really use you and dispose of you and say they want to collaborate or whatever, but really they're just going to toss you to the side and take your whatever. Cyberbullying or whatever it is on social media, there's so much judgment, which didn't exist 15, 20 years ago. Like for the entire world of people, faceless people on the internet talking about somebody who they don't know and making up all this stuff, it's ridiculous and it hurts people and it's I don't know what good it does. I just think that sometimes social media is a toxic playground and it sounds really good on paper, but in reality, I don't know. The main thing to remember is always remember who you are and your worth and your value and how valuable of an asset you are to this planet. Because there's a lot of people that I know who have been in very, very dark spaces, and it feels endless, and I've been there too. And that's also, I think, the time when I was most in denial, when I was probably the most ignorant, because I thought there was no hope, that there was no light at the end of the tunnel. But eventually, I guess maybe I found God. I mean, that's a big factor. That's a whole other story, but...
yeah, that's a great story.
Having faith in yourself, having faith that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that simply life ebbs and flows. It's a journey, a different journey for everybody. But there is always hope, there is always faith. And if you remember that within yourself, you will be clear, you'll be set. And you'll be, comfortable and in alignment with your most authentic self.
Amen.
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 Sorry.
What's your question?
Hi, my name's Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
I'm an animal trainer. I work with seals, sea lions, and river otters.
Come on!
All right. But
Dream job!
Yeah, no, literally.
You are living the dream.
Yeah. A little.
You're like, I get it, yeah. All right.
So I'm curious as to what your favorite behavior is that you've trained one of your pets.
Ooh. My baby does her name is Sugaroo. She's perfect. Enough said. But I will say this, though, again, or to add to it. Who's calling me? Really? Don't they know how busy I am? My dog does a thing wherever, I take her out for a walk, I say, Sugar, are you going to sit? Good girl. And she sits. And then she just wants to put her paw up. She's just started doing this new thing where she puts her paw up, so now I tell her to shake and she does the paw. And then she'll do this thing where she sits up. She's like sitting, like a dog does. But then she'll sit up and put her paws up. It's just a most amazing thing. She's like a little bear, and she's awesome. You got to meet Sugar. She's the best.
I don't know that I've taught him much of anything.
Blue does cool stuff.
I got him when he was probably like 3-4 years old. He was being fostered, and I was blessed enough to get him in my life, Blue. And he's like 75% Blue Heeler, Queensland Heeler, which is a cattle dog, and he's like 25% Shepherd Collie. And he had already had plenty of mannerisms and behaviors in him before he came to me. But fortunately, most all of those were fantastic. The one thing I think maybe I trained him not to do was not kill our chickens, which I found out was doing when I caught him red-pawed and nosed in the middle of a flayed. We thought the coyotes were having a field day, and they were, by the way. Also, hawks and eagles and stuff. They'll grab your chickens. But I had no idea that my boy Blue was
He's a wild
killing
animal.
chickens too. Very upset with that.
Canis lupus. He's a wild animal.
I think our time may be up, but we got one person at the microphone. Thank you for that question.
Thank you. Mwah.
So is this our last? Is this our last one?
Yes.
Hey, before we end, can we give a big round of applause for our ASL interpreters down here?
Y'all are so good. Honestly, I get distracted with how good you guys are.
They're so good. It's like seamless.
Truly.
And what is your question? This
I'm
is the
also
last
learning
one.
from y'all.
Don't screw it up.
I'm Sophia, and my question is, what's the weirdest thing that has ever happened to you?
What? That's so
Weird?
general. I mean, okay. Oh, I know. Probably being able to be in a DC movie. That was, I had that dream when I was 5 years old. I wanted to be in the DC anything I wanted to be. And it's crazy because I grew up loving the Justice League and all that stuff. The Avengers were cool. I had respect for them, but my favorite people were the Batman and the Superman and the Flash and Wonder Woman and Hawkman. Anyway, and of course Captain Marvel, Shazam. It was just that's weird. That's surreal and weird. I'm still waiting to wake up from this crazy fever dream.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought it was over.
Actually, and this is very honest, very similar in that when I got Shazam, I literally I had a massive mental breakdown. I went to therapy the beginning of October of 2017. Actually, I was here at this convention in 2017. Anybody there with me in 2017? So check it. You met me at my table. We spent time together. And in that moment, I'm sure it didn't seem like it because I'm an extrovert and I love people and all that stuff. But inside, I didn't want to live. Legitimately. And the beginning of October, I went to get life-changing, life-saving therapy. And I told my agents, I was like, hey, listen, and my career was in a weird place. I wasn't happy. I didn't realize how unhappy I was. It was a dark time. And I told my agents, I was like, hey, listen, I'm going off grid for a little bit. I got to do some healing. And they're like, cool, tight. And I go to this place. And a week and a half into being at this place, I get an email from my agency, and they're like, hey. Preface, 2 months prior, I had been sent an audition slip for Shazam, like to go audition for the role of Shazam in Shazam. And I knew that The Rock had already been cast as Black Adam, and I knew that the two of them looked pretty similar. So I was like, I emailed back, I was like, aren't they looking for like super jacked, super famous people? And the response I got back might have been like this emoji. It was like, and I was like, I feel like I'd be wasting everybody's time. People see me as, Chuck Bartowski. I don't think this is gonna work out. And God bless you for seeing me that way. Hold on. So I was like, I passed on it. 2 months later, I'm in therapy, a week and a half into therapy. I finally have a breakthrough. Finally have this moment. And by the way, I wrote a book called Radical Love. If you've not read it, if you're going through anything in your life, depression, anxiety, whatever, it's my what? I'm gonna start crying. It's my journey, and I hope it blesses you if you read the book. But the point is, a week and a half in, I have this epiphany, and I feel light. I can see light at the end of the tunnel. And bing, I get an email from my agency when they're not supposed to email me because they know I'm trying to heal for crying in the night. And they're like, hey, don't want to bug you, but there's this other supporting role in the movie Shazam. It's like one page, like basically a little monologue. We don't want to bug you, but listen, if you're into it, maybe you can do it, but no pressure. And I had just had this breakthrough, and I was like, you know what? When do I need to in by? I had this breakthrough on Wednesday, and then on Friday, there's like, you can have it in on Friday. I was like, cool. On Friday, I come back from the gym at this place I'm staying at in Connecticut. I got to go to the gym. I work out. I'm feeling better about myself, feeling like I'm putting like work into myself, and I'm valuing myself. Because guys, you got to do it. You got to put the work in, and it's so worth it. When you value yourself with self-care, it's so good. Trust me. And I come back from the gym, and I'm feeling good, and I put up my phone, and I do this scene by myself, just like this one thing. And the scene is this water boy for an NBA team. And the NBA team, the coach calls a timeout, and he's like just ripping the team a new one. He's like, you guys are blowing it out there. I can't believe it. And he goes, Jenkins, I don't know why I keep using Jenkins as the name, but Jenkins, you're in to the water boy. And the water boy rips off his clothes. He's wearing the jersey and everything. He's like ready to go. And he throws the water down, and he gets in there. And while he's playing this game against these professional NBA players, he's actually doing pretty good. He's like making some shots and doing some moves, but he's also dry heaving between every move. He's so terrified of what he's doing. And so I do this scene, and I did one take. I started to do another take, and I screwed it up, and I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna do one take, all good. And I sent it in. And then I got an email back, and hours later, actually my phone starts ringing, and my agent's like, yo, they really like your audition. In fact, they like it so much they think you could be Shazam. They haven't cast it yet. And I'm like, this is tripping me out. I'm in therapy trying to save my life. And this thing, I was like, is this the devil? I'm not even kidding you. I was like, this is either God being like, yo, here's a cool thing because you're like working on yourself, or, hey, come back to Hollywood, kid. You don't need to do any more work. You're fine just as you are. Cry. Like, whatever. I'm like, this is trippy. And they said, you got to fly in. I was like, I can't fly in. I'm doing this work right now. And they're like, well, okay, maybe we can work something out. So the following Monday, I do a Skype, because that's what we did back then. By the way, Skype blew it. What happened to them? Anyway, I mean, like, of all the companies. Anyway. So I do a test. They film. I talk to David Sandberg, and we do the 3 scenes for the role of Shazam. And they film their side, and I'm on my iPad in my room in my house in Connecticut. And they call a couple hours later, and they go, Warner Brothers loves your audition, but you have to come in to LA to go and do the actual in-person screen test. Otherwise, they won't give it to you. And they told me, they got another guy that they've been looking at. And if you don't come in, it's going to go to him. But the momentum feels like it's moving in your favor. And I'm like, this is crazy. And again, I've been at now therapy for 3 weeks, and I'm like, I don't know what to do here. And there's this wonderful woman that, if you read my book, her name is Beth in the book, and she was just a deeply spiritual woman who loves God, and she was praying for me the entire time I was there. And she was there that night, and I go downstairs, I go, Beth, I don't know what to do. Is this the devil? What is going on? And so we prayed about it, and we both looked at each other, and we're like, no, you're supposed to go. We had peace. I didn't feel elated. I didn't feel fear. I felt peace, which is what we should be looking for all the time, peace. By the way. Try to find peace. Try to find peace in your decision-making and with each other. Yeah. And so I ended up flying to LA, I flew in on like Wednesday. I did the camera test on Thursday. And on Friday, I'm with my buddy Eric in LA at the gym, and I get a phone call, and David Sandberg is on the other line, and he says, "You're my Shazam." And I'm like, "Thank you so much, sir. I have to get back to the bench press because I'm going to be really hosed if I don't." Guys, that was 3 weeks of therapy and 1 week of an audition process. And I got to be my own superhero. I got to be that thing that I always dreamed of being, the thing that we all dress up as these things. And it wasn't for any other reason in my estimation. Because when we go and work on ourselves, when we go and do that work, then the doors, then the opportunities, then the way in which God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, can wind and move like the Force in Star Wars and make this world a great place. Every single one of our lives made better through that. So that's a pretty weird thing that's happened to me in my life, yeah.
That was the question. I forgot about the questions.
Thank you so much, Salt Lake City.
I love y'all.
Love you, 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 love you. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, and love each other.
Everybody. God bless y'all.
Bye.
Yo, what's up for Billy?